Appreciate you hitting the button. Welcome to the How to Hustle podcast with Hype. This is episode 17. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at I am Hype. That's HYMPE. It's Hype, not hype. I'm not geeked up. Special guest in the building for episode 17. Introduce yourself to the audience.
Hi, my name is Leise Winny, and I am the host of Millennials Anonymous podcast with Maps Media.
So this is why I always ask people for feedback. I love the feedback. I love to know what people think about the episodes. How do they feel about things? I saw that you had a post that went up, and I felt the type of way about the post. That's why I jumped on it. But this is why I always tell people in the comments. This is the second episode that I'm gonna do off comments, and I got another one I'm gonna record again. This is all off the comments. We don't need to do this now. We can turn this into an episode. Right. So this one was a picture that you had of. It was what was it, like 5-6 different women down on the kneecap proposing to a guy?
Yeah, so the new trend is now women are proposing to men. They are the ones that are taking the initiative. They're buying the ring. They're setting up the engagement. And so some people weren't really feeling it. And so I posted it because I don't have a problem with it. So I know some people think it's not traditional and women shouldn't be doing that. And I think that's kind of where we differed a little bit on the viewpoint of it.
So this is why I got you on the How to Hustle podcast. Let's go. If you talk about it, the guest goes first.
So I don't have a problem with this. I think that when we start doing where women can't go after what they want, and like I told you in the comments, this is the exact same thing as women saying, keep bugging a man to marry them. When you gonna marry me? When you gonna propose? When you gonna get married? I don't want to keep having babies and not being married. It's literally the same thing. The difference is that she's now taking it to the next step to actually get engaged. A lot of women, they force, well, I'm not going to say that's not a good word. They push men into marriage and them to propose instead of the women doing it. And I was like, why don't you do it? Because you give him the opportunity to say no. If he does not want to get married, he's going to tell you no. So that's why I don't necessarily have a problem with the woman taking an initiative. And I approach my spouse. I mean, I didn't propose to him, but I did approach him. So I don't have a problem with it. I think it's beautiful.
Okay. See. First of all, if I wanted to be married, we would be married. If the man wanted to be married or engaged or in any of those situations, he would propose to you. That's the way that I look at it. Why are you ever down on your kneecap? Like I said in these comments, if you down on your kneecaps, I better be undoing my zipper because you shouldn't be down here for any other reason. What the fuck are you doing? You have completely, to me, that's like, it's like how do you say it? It's emasculation type of thing. Like, how do you have a woman down here? Is she gonna carry you over the threshold next? Like, if it's a mouse, is she gonna go get it out of the kitchen? Like, this be my problem when people be having like there's no gender specific roles. There are absolutely gender specific roles.
I don't know if that necessarily has to be. I think that if you feel emasculated,
if there's a mouse in the kitchen, are you going to go kill it?
Well, I don't like mice, period. So, but I do know some women that do. Like, they don't have a man in their house and they got to get them out. If they have mice, they got to get them out.
That's different. If you don't have one, then okay, you have to be all situations. That's like somebody growing up without a dad. They was just raised by their mom. That's understandable. That's just like a dad that's braiding hair. If you don't have the mom around, okay, I get it. You doing what you got to do. I ain't mad at that. But if mommy is sitting down here on the couch on Instagram, she better braid this goddamn hair. You better not ever look at me to braid no damn hair. If daddy is in the bed talking about he's chilling watching the game, she better not be down there getting a mouse. Like, what are you doing? Like,
well, I mean, if they just being lazy and not doing anything, that's a whole nother problem besides just gender.
But that's why I said, yeah, you in the house alone, understandable. That's just what it is. You just got to make the best out of your situation. That's not taking on the role of the guy. That's you doing what you got to do. That's not the man taking on the role of the woman that's doing what you got to do. You down proposing is flat out wrong. Like, so like what you going like, so like what's going on now with this wedding and with this marriage, like in this situation? You can ask all you want when we getting married, when we doing this and when we doing that. Those are just questions. This is just conversation. But when you take the initiative to go buy, like what you asked me for my ring size, like did I tell you? Like,
In some cases, yeah,
you got,
they
do you get
did.
rose petals for me? Like, how does that work? Like,
Yeah,
I don't understand this at all.
in some cases, yes, because some men say that, all of the burden, the financial burden typically goes on to the man. In this case, the woman is taking off of some of that financial burden. Instead of you paying 10 grand for a ring, she's giving you a ring. So it kind of flips that a little bit. Because I know in a lot of households, men tend to say they want to be the breadwinner until they got to be the goddamn breadwinner, and then it's like, okay, I'm struggling with these damn bills, and you out buying purses in, you know, inches. Like I need
Okay.
you to pitch in.
See, this is another thing. Like, congratulations as a man, you struggling. You're supposed to. Unless you in a situation where like you got the bag, you supposed to take on majority of this. This is your role as the man. Like the woman now, this is why people always do this whenever they had these conversations about like so I'm supposed to spend all my money on the household shit and she's supposed to just be blowing money. First of all, if you're married to somebody, you shouldn't have married a fool who would just go, fuck the gas bill, I'm gonna go buy a bag. Fuck the electric bill, I'm gonna buy shoes. I ain't worrying about what we eating because I seen these bracelets that I want. Like, you shouldn't be with that type of person. If you
I
with the type of
agree.
person, if you're with the type of person who is like, you have one person as the breadwinner, maybe she's managing the money. Maybe she knows on this date is when this bill is due. Because like for me personally, me and my wife both work, but if it's the way I want it, she wouldn't spend none of her money on none of this. She got her own pride, so you give her a bill here or there, like to take care of. But I wouldn't want none. I don't want none of her money. I've never asked her ever for a quarter. Like, I don't understand how dudes do that type of thing.
And but I think that that's the problem. Like, we raise little boys in this country to be wrapped around money. Like, that's all their worth is. It's having sex, conquering a woman, and having money. That is literally the way we raise boys. And that is why we have all the issues we have today. That's a problem. I feel like in a relationship, I've been with the same person for almost 2 decades. And it's funny because we grew up together pretty much. We from, high school up until now. Was there breaks in between? Yeah, but we've been together pretty much 2 decades. You have to play by strength. If I'm better at something than you, then I should pick that up, whether it seems like it's a male focused role or not, because when you're in a relationship, it is a team. So you got to play by your strength. She has to play by her strength, and it shouldn't be gender specific. It should be based on strength. So if you're better at making money, like you have a degree and the woman is a doctor and you're not, it would be silly for her not to be the head of household if she is in fact the doctor and you work as a custodian.
Copy.
That
I don't
doesn't make sense.
copy. Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. Copy.
Okay.
This
Yeah.
is yeah. This is my thing though. If that's your situation, because it's like in a relationship, for a relationship to work, it has to be I'm weak here, you're strong here, and this is how we help each other. But all I'm saying is there are certain things that are male or female specific.
Like
Like I
what?
said, like I just said, the kids, the daughter needs a hair braided. The dad, I'm not doing that. There's never a time ever that you're going to come to me and be like, well, you could do them better than me. You'll never know because I'll never do them. Like I said, the mouse is down here in the joint. Your trash got to go out. My wife is not ever taking the trash out. Like
I'm
my wife,
taking the trash
uh,
out. If I see the trash is full, I gotta take the trash out. I got
mm-mm.
kids.
Would you hold? Do you hold it? Would you hold the door open for your man?
I have.
I mean, all right, not hold the door open. I'm because that's just
Yeah, that's
common
just
courtesy.
rude.
You going
You
to no,
just
I didn't mean right. You're right. I didn't mean the door. I mean we getting in the car. You opening his car door?
No, I don't. No, I've never done that. I've never done that ever. But to be
This
totally
is
honest
like
with you, I don't think he's ever opened the door for me.
I mean, see, I ain't gonna make it seem like I'm opening all the doors in the world. Like if we going on a date or something, I might open the door. We had a wedding or something, I'll open the door. If we dressed and I open the door. You got on jeans and a t-shirt, now you get your own
You open your own door.
door. But now it's like a couple weeks ago, we getting in the car and I got a newborn. So my wife is putting the baby in behind me and the door is open just because I'm doing something. And like she started trying to close the door. I'm like, what the fuck is you doing? Like, she like, I'm closing the door. Like, don't you ever in your fucking life reach to close my door? What is wrong with you? Like, my daughter,
Oh,
like, why? My daughter, my oldest daughter is like, why? I'm like, you don't ever in your life close the door for no man. You never, ever, you let the car door get hit before you close that damn
What?
door.
See, I see. That's why I think that the women going after what they want. If women want to propose to a man, I think the bigger question that I think you and I have, because you keep saying, well, if he wanted to be married, he would be married.
Yeah, if I
Maybe
wanted to
some
be
of
engaged,
these
we would be engaged. Yeah.
these women are maybe perhaps forcing some things on people that don't want to be there, which happens in
Mm-hmm.
relationships on both ends. Sometimes there's certain
Mm-hmm.
women
No
that
doubt.
don't want to be there and they kind of go along with it and vice versa. So that is a different question. But I think if you are in a relationship where the both of you really do want to take that next step, but maybe he's not sure when. Sometimes people are a little bit, I don't really know if I want to get married right now, but is she going to say yes? Is she going to say no? I don't want to be embarrassed, because there have been some guys that have been embarrassed when they have proposed to women. So she takes that away. I don't see anything wrong with that. Would I do it? Probably not. I'm not getting on my knee and proposing to anybody just because that's not what I want to do. But I don't see anything wrong with somebody else doing it. I don't have a problem with it. I really don't. I don't.
I This is what I'm saying. Like, man, I could never like one, like you said, yeah, people do get forced into these situations where it's like you don't want to embarrass her, you don't want to embarrass him, so you just say yeah. But it's better for you to say no in this moment right now than for y'all to be 15, 20 years down the line and it's like, well, I never wanted to be married anyway. I never wanted to do this anyway. Like I just kind of went with it. Like that's not a good idea. You need to be adult enough about these situations to have these conversations to understand that we either on a path to getting married or we on a path to breaking up. We on a path to just talking. We having fun. Y'all need to define that, figure that out before you end up in a situation where he or she is just going along to get along because they didn't want to embarrass you.
Oh, let me ask
Because
you
like
this though.
they proposed to you at the family reunion and everybody was there.
Yeah, I mean, I think people shouldn't do that. Period. Like, it can get everybody don't need to know. Just tell them after you finish proposing. Like, I don't understand the big granular bullshit. But anyway, I'm sorry. Can I curse on here?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay, okay.
Not safe for
Um,
work situation. Fuck. There you go.
okay,
It was a nice one.
okay, okay. But let's say one of the things that was holding you back as a guy, because I've heard this from a couple of different men, is from a financial standpoint, I don't have enough money for the ring. I'm saving up for this ring. Like, I want to propose to her, but I don't have a ring. And you see that there was the whole thing that women was going in on the men that was buying them little teeny diamonds and those little teeny rings. And maybe, like I said, in this case, you don't have to worry about that. Maybe she knows, okay, he's struggling really, really hard. He's trying, but I'm going to take it away from him. I'm just going to propose to him. That way, there's no financial burden on him.
All right. In these situations, if you're in a status with somebody where you're thinking about getting married, or y'all relationship has reached this point where it's like, I want to get married, but financially, I just can't do it. That's an honest conversation that y'all need to have with each other so that you get the expectations. Look, I'm thinking about it, but you know how this money is working out. Like, so I'm going to do what I can now, and down the line, I'll try to take care of you. That's what the honest conversation that you need to have so that you get the out of her for she's expecting this and you come up with this. Like
Right.
you need to, yeah, like you need to have that honest conversation with somebody that you're trying to spend the rest of your life with. Nobody looks into marriage and say, yeah, we're gonna do this for 3-4 years. You get married to somebody, it's because you want to be with them for the rest of forever. And if y'all can't have that honest conversation in the beginning, that look, this is not Love and Hip Hop. Mona didn't buy me a ring. I'm going down here and I got what I got and I'm gonna get what I can get. You need to talk to her about that. And if you know that that's your situation, you shouldn't do that in front of everybody where you gonna feel some type of way about the ring that you came with. But I mean, you can only come with what you can come with. And again, so like even in that situation, like you said, all right, she takes the burden off him. So now when he goes to buy her ring still, so his ring is better than hers. Like, how does that work?
No, but you still have a year. So now he has a year to get a wedding ring or a wedding band. So an
You gotta get,
engagement,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you gotta get both.
you don't have to like get an engagement ring. If she proposed to you, you get the engagement band, and then she would just get a wedding band.
That's what I'm saying. What the fuck is that?
It's an engagement band. So then when you get married, you both just have bands. So you don't have to
Listen,
worry about Because men, what they ring to about $300,
I don't know.
$400.
I was saying my wife ring set me back for a couple years. Here go
That's
my
what
ring is bullshit because I'm
that's
not a
what I'm
jewelry guy.
saying.
That's what I'm
Now you
saying.
see why women proposing is
But that's what I'm
cheaper.
saying. If I gave my wife this, like, and then she gave me what I gave her, like hell no.
It's
Like,
cheaper. You should definitely allow, like, if you allowed a woman to do it, it's cheaper. Now, I'm not the person that's like all on this ring stuff. I think that if you can't afford a wedding ring, you shouldn't be stressed out about it.
no, that's why I said you do
I
what you
don't
can
think you
do.
should. Make sure you have money though. I don't think you should be rushing into marriage if you're worried about finances. That's probably not the smartest thing to do because money isn't one of the number one reasons for divorce.
Engagement and marriage is two different things, though.
Right. But if you are getting engaged, the goal is marriage. So if you
So
don't have any money,
I could give you my personal experience. I got engaged in March and married in July. That's
ooh,
because I'm not one of those people. I'm not indecisive. I don't want to argue about the tablecloths for 8 months. I don't want to argue about centerpieces and all this shit that I'm never going to care about. The part that matters is, do y'all really love each other? Are you really trying to build a foundation? Are you really trying to establish something? That's what matters. All of the rest of this stuff is just pictures that I'm probably never really going to look at. Like, so there's no reason for us to get bogged down in those details. Now, some people are going, I've been planning this since I was 13 and I need 2 years to save this money. And I got this venue and I know it costs. Like, some people are into that. But if just because I know a lot of people that got engaged and had the lovely Instagram post with 6,000 likes, and then there was never a wedding after that.
yeah, and I've been to weddings that were beautiful and it lasted a couple months. So it all depends. I didn't have a wedding either. We just went to the courthouse. Like I'm not big on that because like I said, it's one day and that's usually why a lot of people do get divorced because that's the pinnacle of your relationship and then it just goes downhill from there. So a lot of people set this unrealistic expectation and then they end up like, wow, didn't it work? It was supposed to be a fairy tale because it's not. But that's
Because you
why
argue, but see, like I remember my cousins got married. They argued for 8 months about every little detail. Like,
but I
you
think
can't be
that's a
doing
good
that.
thing too, because you're gonna argue, but now you get to see, all right, this is really ridiculous. Like you're getting to see this person in real time. Like, woo, okay. I don't know if this is gonna work out. That's why I don't mind people living together first. I don't mind, people having longer relationships before they get married. I don't think it's a problem because you get to learn the person before you
It's a
go
huge
together.
difference. It's a huge difference in an argument and like y'all having a discussion. Y'all can disagree about whatever, as long as y'all both respect each other's opinion and it don't turn into a fuck you, get the fuck out. If y'all have that going on, y'all don't need to get married. Y'all need to leave this alone. Like just walk away from each other because I don't believe that this. I mean, it worked for some people. If that worked for you, then hey, all the love in the world for y'all. That couldn't be me. My mom and my dad was together maybe like 45 years. I never heard one argument.
Oh wow, that's
Now,
amazing.
now, like I said, you want fish, you want chicken, I want Chinese, I want Italian. Yeah, you'll have those type of discussions. But we ain't never had a what the never. Not that's not going on. So for me, it's like this ain't what it look like. This ain't what's going on. This ain't happening. Also, like a chick down on the kneecap going, I've been loving you my whole time.
I
And
don't
I
see
got you this ring.
I
Oh
don't
hell
see
no.
anything wrong with it. I was like, hey, I'm all with it. If you want to do that, ladies, do it. Like, if you see a dude you want to get engaged, do it. Now, you do also have to be like the dudes now. Be prepared for him to embarrass the fuck out of you. So when he starts saying no and you stand around with all your friends and family looking like an idiot, that's on y'all. You got to take the rejection with the engagement. That's
See,
what that is.
I proposed in the house. It was me, my wife, and my oldest daughter. That
See?
wasn't no crowd and none of that. I'm like, my whole thing in my head is we was going to dinner, and it was like in my head, I don't like people in my business. So I don't need these random ass people over here going live on their Instagram, taking pictures of me and shit. And I don't even know you. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
Like, I don't like that type of stuff. Uh,
I
this
I
is
agree.
this is something I want to ask you though. Now on this topic, your
Okay.
cousin comes to you and say, you know what, I really love Antoine. and I've been thinking like we've been together for 3 years, and I think he's the one. So you want to go ring shopping with me because I want to propose to him. What's the advice that you're giving your cousin about proposing to Antoine?
I mean, I'll say, sure, I'll go with you, but I'm probably going to tell her the same thing. Be prepared for him to tell you no. If he has not said he wanted to get married to you, I want you to be prepared for him to tell you no, because men are more likely to say no to you than a woman is. So I want you to know that before you make this big grand proposal.
I'm telling you, girl, I would have embarrassed my wife something terrible if she'd have got down on her knee talking about can we. And any of my family members who are listening, appreciate you hitting the button. But man, all I would tell you something about yourself. You come asking me, can you propose to this nigga? What the fuck is wrong
Well,
with
maybe for the renewal. She'll do it for the renewal. She'll
Finn, you can't propose anything, man. You can propose reservations tonight. All right. You can propose that we go on this vacation. You can't do anything down on any. I said any kneecap involved needs to be an unzipper. Only unzippering. Okay.
Hey, I don't subscribe to the misogyny and typical gender. So, ladies, like I said, if you want to do it, do it. Just be prepared to be rejected. The same thing with you approaching a man. Be prepared to be rejected like they do. Just be prepared. That's all I got to say.
Now let's dive into you a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about the podcast. How long you been doing the podcast?
So I've been on a couple. I've been podcasting. Like I'll do it this way. I've been podcasting for about 3 years, and Millennials Anonymous is about a year and a half old. Yes.
What made you go with Millennials Anonymous?
Well, the whole premise of it is it's like if you've ever seen, I've never been to one, but like an alcohol anonymous meeting where they can kind of like vent and they can sit down and they can be in a group together and talk about their problems. That's what Millennials Anonymous is. So it's an anonymous meeting for millennials to be able to talk about whatever the fuck is going on, issues in the world, things that's bothering them. So that's kind of where it came from.
Somebody who's new to your podcast, you would tell them, listen to this episode. Which one would that be?
I probably would say I have a couple of ones that I really, really like, but the most recent one probably because I changed the structure. So episode 147, It's Trendy, is going to be the episode I'm going to tell you to listen to. But if you want to hear the original flow of the episode of the podcast, probably going to tell you to go back and listen to the episode that I had Samia Burton on from Sexual Essentials, because we had a really great time. And then after that, probably the one with music and racism with Dr. Matthew Knowles.
Okay. And where can you find the podcast? What's the Instagram? You got Twitter? What's going on with all of that?
So you can just find me at Millennials Anonymous Podcast on Instagram and Facebook if you're still on there. I'm also on Snapchat under Millennials Anonymous, and you can find Millennials Anonymous on all major podcasting platforms, and you can go onto YouTube and watch Millennials Anonymous under Maps Media's YouTube channel.
Okay, hold up before we go. What's Maps Media now? Don't bury the lead.
Millennial.
Come on, give it all to them now.
Maps Media is the minority amplified press safeguard media. So it is a Black female owned. I created this. We have Miss Ashley, the cannabis nurse, who's also a part of Maps Media. We are for the underrepresented and underheard. We have a couple of different podcasts on that platform, as well as some web series that we do basically for millennials, but for underheard narratives in the mainstream news. So that's what that is. So you can watch our shows, you can listen to our shows, and we also have a website. So you can go to Millennials, and you have to put a Z. So when I say Millennials Anonymous, it has a Z on it, or you will not find it. So
it'll be in the description of the episode.
Okay, that works. So it's millennials.us is our website. So you can check us out and see what we got going on. And we got a Podfest coming up.
You said y'all got a Podfest coming up? Come on now, let me get the information on that now.
We do. So the Podfest is going to be September the 26th, 2021. And it is basically a podcast concert. So we're going to have some, I I guess you can say underground or newer music artists that will be sprinkled throughout. So if a podcaster wants to interview them, so they'll hear their music. So we're going to make it like a concert, and then we're going to have different podcasters in all of their fashion and glory, cursing and spitting and kicking and all, talking about things that make podcasters better. So we're going to be talking about marketing. We're going to be talking about sound quality. We're going to be talking about cover art and copyrights, all of those types of things. So it'll be a good time if you're a podcaster.
Yeah, I need the information on that situation.
Okay.
We'll talk about that off mic though.
Okay. Perfect.
Yes, that's episode 17. I appreciate you for coming on. Like I said, this was your post. This wasn't even my post. I jumped into your comments on this one because I was befuddled. Like, how the fuck? What? But I appreciate you for coming on. And yeah, we might have to September 26th, might look into this situation and see if we can put something together.
Okay, and it's virtual.
Copy that then. We definitely can put something together. And for that, I'm saying
Okay.
send me Zoom link and I'm on it.
Okay.
All right, that's episode 17, y'all. Episode 17 of the How to Hustle podcast with Hype. We are out.